Welcome to Entourage & Co. I'm the lead educator of Entourage & Co. I'm Lee Handford. Now today we've got Rizwan in the chair and we are going to be teaching you how to do a mid skin fade with a side part in. The way I cut hair is simple, it's effective, it's clean, and most importantly it's quick. So that means you can get more bums in your seats to earn more money. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So usually I put a baseline in somewhere around here with a mid fade and dropping down the back, but because Rizwan had his hair cut by someone else last time, it's lost its shape towards the back, so that means I have no guideline to put in. So I'm going to do the sides first. Simple as I'm going to dry this all down, so the section stays the same. The guideline is pretty much there for me, but it's a bit too high here, so I'm going to create a new one by putting a 2 open straight up and through. Okay? Watch how and follow how I do this. I'm going to dry this down, leave this damp and push to the side. So that is going to be my guideline there. So now, using my number 2 open, you can kind of see where the previous cut has been. So I need to take this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight up and through that because Rizwan does not want a high fade towards the back. So I'm going to be going this kind of motion right around. But it's going to be going up and through. Okay? So I'll do it slow so you can see, and then after that I'm just going to go full speed, okay? Can you see my motion? Up and through. So as I'm on the head at the bottom by here, and then as I get to here, as I get to somewhere around this line, and coming off. So it's like, I'm not scooping, I'm going up and off. Close to my number 2. Now I'm going to put on my 1.5 guard. So now I've got my 1.5 guard, I'm going to keep it closed. This is going to save us time, and I'm going to go straight up to the line that we've already done. Same motion as before, up and off, but so I'm not going to be touching above what I've already done, okay? Making sure it's nice and clean. Like that for me. Now I'm going to go up on my 0 line in. Before I put my 0 line in, I'm going to do my 2 right way around. So, for example, whenever I start with my 2.5 or 2 open, I would always do that right way around the haircut. I only did it on one side, so you could fully focus on exactly what I'm doing without moving Rizwan's head out the frame. And then I do my 2.5 right way around, or 2 open right way around, and then I do my 2 closed right way around, or 2 right way around, and then I will do the same with the 1.5 guard. The reason why I haven't shown you me doing it right way around is so Rizwan's head stays in frame, and then you can focus on one area at the time, so you learn every single bit of detail that I do. This is going to be sped up, so just bear with me and just watch me connect the 2.5 right around and then the 1.5 guard into it as well. So as you can see, I'm leaving a lot of excess weight here because Rizwan wants to grow this in to the back. Okay? Now moving straight on to my 1.5 guard, same principle as the other side. Yeah? Zero line is going to, because he's having a mid fade, so I'm going to keep the zero line halfway through the C cup and down. I'm going to angle it down at the back as well. Because remember now, he wants to leave the weight through here and the length to grow into this. So if I go flat with the zero, you're going to have no room to work with at the back. That's the zero line. So you've got two fingers to work with right the way through. Okay? So as I come to the back, I drop it down here. So when I'm working from the side and I'm looking this way, it's all about body positioning, right? So I'm looking at this directly on. So when I come to the back, because I'm looking at directly this way, I'll bring it right around and stop at the middle. Stop as far as it goes out of my sight, I stop. So when I come around to the back, I literally continue the line, but I drop it going down. Reason being, I'll explain in a minute. Reason being is because when I'm working from this side and his head's in the perfect position, I know that that's where I need to connect the zero line to. Not this part, because if I come up and around, I could end up here, or I could end up really low, or whatever, so I do it in segments. I do that side, then I do the back, and then I connect this side into that line there. Connecting it into there, same principle, very low, mid of the C cup, mid of the shape up. One thing I always see barbers do wrong is they never get the line that they're working on clean. So what I mean by that is they always have little hairs like this somewhere, or they won't go over it enough. So then what that does is you're creating more work for yourself moving forward, because if the number that you're using, whether it's a zero, whether it's a foiler, whether it's number one, whatever it is, if you do not make sure that is clean before moving on to the next number, that's going to cause you problems further down the line. So the cleaner each guard is, or the cleaner each cut is, or each snip, whatever you want to do, whatever you're doing at the moment, the cleaner that is, the quicker your haircuts are going to be, because you're saving yourself trouble in moving forward. So now moving on to the detailers. So you've done our 2.5, our 2, our 1.5 guard, and now we're moving on to our trimmers. So why I use the trimmers now is because you're going to take all of this bulk of the hair off, work up just to, so this is another reason why I leave the hair here too, is because that's a finger depth, right? There or thereabouts. So that's where I know I need to take my detailers to. Not much further above that I go. So there's another guideline. So you're creating safety blankets all of the way through cutting hair. That means you're going to have quicker haircuts, cleaner haircuts, and you're just going to have more money in your pocket because you're just going to be quicker at cutting hair. So start in the middle of the ear, nice and lightly, just removing that hair that's there. Just removing all of the excess hair. Like so, just like that. And then you've got that then to play with the next detailers. Spin them right round, repeating this process. Oh look, I haven't even looked to see if these matched. I haven't even checked, and they match. Because that was my guide. I went to my guide from the 0 line. Same again, middle of the ear. Now moving on to the foils. Now the foils is the tool that takes it all the way down the skin. So reason being, why I've left that a finger depth between the trimmer and the 0 is because if I do create a line with this, then I can knock it out with either this or a different detailer. Circular motions at the bottom to make sure you get all the pressing a little bit harder, and then as you get closer to your trimmer line, a little bit lighter. Now I've done a nape, so a bit different with the sides, because obviously I've got less room to work with, right? So it's going to be very lightly. So I'm not going to be doing circular motions, or I'm going to be very, very light with my touch, and then I'm going to be going flicking, and I'm going to be flicking like so. And then as I get closer, I'm pulling down. I'm not going up against the hair, I'm pulling down. And now I'm going to be going straight onto my other trimmer. I know I haven't used the foil on the other side, but I just want to show you how I get this from the foiled to the trimmer to the 0 line perfectly connected. So I got a different pair of trimmers. So these are longer than the red ones I used, than the boosts, but they're shorter than the 0. Okay. So I'm going to go in, Just edge away that line, get it looking nice and crisp, nice and clean. As I mentioned earlier, the cleaner your guards are, every guard you use, it's going to be a quicker haircut. Because you don't have to go back and refine as much, you have to go back over your steps, over your tracks, you don't have to go covering your tracks, because it's nice and clean all right the way through. This, for me, is the most important part of the fade. If you don't get this clean, then it's just going to cause you problems. Because it's going to be, you're going to be thinking there's lines up here, or there's lines at the top, but it's not. The real line is here. Right, so now I've done the foilers, I've skinned it all, done my 2.5, etc, etc. I don't want to repeat myself because I don't want to bore you guys. So, Beyblade, open. We're literally going to be taking it roughly a finger depth above the zero line, okay? Roughly. I'm not going to come tight to the C-cup, so it's going to be a little bit less here because I want this to pop when I shape it up. Okay, so I'm going to start from behind it here. Stay there for me, bro. I'm going to start behind it here, like so. I'm going to leave the zero line. Like so. See, it's pretty much a finger depth from the zero. And then I'm going to follow this right way around until I get the same principle as the zero line. I'm going to take it right around to here with my sight, and then I'm going to spin him, and I'm going to put it down a little bit, and then I'm going to spin him around again and start from that side. So I'm going to speed all this process up, but I'm explaining to you what I'm going to do. So my sight, I can see here. So I'm going to go right way around, swing my body around a little bit, and go like that. So now I'm going to go in with my one guard, which is open and then closed. So but this is where I work in partials. So I work this side, right way down, clean it up, right way around on the other side, clean it up, and then I connect both sides into the back. Okay? So I try and work this whole space in one go. Same principle, same process as before, up and off, okay? Now I'm going to jump straight down. Now I'm going to jump straight down to my 0.5 guard, open, then close. But with the open and close with the 0.5 guard, I'm going to work through the clicks. Okay. Now this is where you really start to see the fade come alive. But never going over the lines that you've created. So that's the one guard. I'm not going to really go into that. Okay. Right, now I've done my 0.5 guard, open and close all the way down. You can see how much cleaner that is. Like how simple that process was. Hardly any dark patches, and we'll obviously go back and refine that. But now we're going to go back, bare blade. Up and through into that 0.5 guard, okay? Using the corner of my blade, I'm never using more than half of my blade when I'm using bare blade, okay? Not when I'm getting out lines. Half closed, half closed. Three quarters closed. Fully closed. Clean up the rest with a 0.5 guard and pop that straight back on. Bush. And let's go all the way through using the corner of my blade, half of my blade, like so. So the dark patch here, you just knock away with it, very, very lightly, very, very lightly. Obviously you're going higher than what this guard is. So if you go too hard, or if you just create another line. Another tip as well, if you're fully open and it's not removing any darkness, literally you just need to work through the clicks, okay? And there we have it. That's one side done. As I said, I'm going to repeat this process, the other side, which will be sped up, and I'm just going to connect the back into the sides. Same process as the other side. Now connecting the sides into the back, or the back into the side rather. Same process. So I've done my 1.1 guard open and closed. Now 1.5 guard open. Bare blade, open, and then closed. So now I've done that, I'm just going to go back through my number 1, actually my 1.5 guard, because it has more dent at the back. I'm just going to lighten up this area here. Working back around into the sides to make sure that's all connected and all nice and flush. Going back down to my 1 guard, working right around, fully closed, using the corner of my blade, and I'm just going to work around like this. So this is the refining part, right? So this is where you get the fade looking extra crispy. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you create the perfect fade. Now I am going to blend it, obviously. I'm going to wet it back down and everything like that, and I'm going to go back through point cut a little bit, but the majority of the story is there. Right, so guys, obviously I've done the sides first. Normally I would do the top first and then the sides. So I faded completely different for you guys today. Not out of choice, but look, the same results regardless. I've had to change the way I faded or the way I cut hair, and it still turned out banging. Okay, so this fading technique works across the board, period. So as Rizwan has a side part in, like so, that's where he's going to have it. So what I'm going to do is going to blend that nice and subtle through here, and that's going to finish off the fade absolutely perfectly. Got my wrong scissors in my hand. I got my 6 inches Yoshis from Mataki, and now I'm going to start my blend. Comb really tight against the head. As I'm coming up, I'm going to start snipping, but as I come up to the top part, I'm going to release off. Okay, so be very, very like this, but not scooping up and through. Like same motion with the clippers, I'm going to do with the comb and scissors. So there, snip, 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 up and off, snip, 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 up and off, and right, I'm going to repeat that process right around. I'm going in like this, and there's a dark patch there, so I'm just going to go in and nip the hairs out like so to remove the dark patch. Real life photoshopping, guys. Real life photoshopping. What you're doing by removing some of the longer hairs from in part of that dark patch, you're literally leaving more light in. That's all you're doing. And I'm going to repeat the same process right the way around. So normally, on one of my haircuts, this would be finishing off the haircut. Obviously I've still got to cut the top, and I've still got to style it. I used to work with Rizwan in House of Fade. He's seen me do these haircuts in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, as does Rizwan. As long as you've got nice hair to work with and not cutting my hair. Same process, exactly the same process. Can you see how much cleaner the fade is connecting to the top now? Well, I haven't even touched that top part here. I haven't even touched it. I've just taken the length and the weight from underneath it. So I work right way around with the blend because obviously I know I'm just fading into the guideline that's already there. I don't work in patches, I don't work in segments when it comes to blending. So work right way around the head. Point cut in to remove some of the weight, remove some of the darkness. Same again. And now I won't move from here to here, I'll go from this way to that way, from front to back. Head up. Same again, just removing all the dark patches. There you go, that is completely blended. Now I'm just going to take some more length up the top. So as you can see from here, I haven't removed anything from there because he likes it quite thick and heavy with it. So on the top, I'm going to start with a fringe. I'm not going to put a section in because he only wants a little bit off, so I'm just going to follow everything that's there and I'm just going to clean up the top. Obviously I didn't cut it last, so there might be some mistakes in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to work directly straight from here, straight from the right hand side to the front, right away back, just removing the excess and cleaning it up. And then as I get to the top, so I'm going to cut level, square, square. So I'm going to do one cut, two cut, which is going to be square, and then on this side I'm going to angle it slightly to make sure that it sits in and blends perfectly and when it's styled. So pull forward with the fringe. As you can see, look, there's a long bit there, it needs to come straight off. That shouldn't be there at all. But still pulling forward, so I'm going in and scooping the hair up like this, pulling forward, catching it with my left hand. Same again, and I'm just, each time, I'm just coming in, scooping, I'm not leaving go of the hair, and I'm only catching the part that I've already got and connecting it to the back. So it's only going a comb depth. This is how you stop having lines in your haircuts on top, and it's how you maintain longevity for the client. Cross check. Not going to remove anything from the back either because he's growing that in. So nice and square. I think, look, all of that needs to come off. Why is it so long this side? I don't know why. I don't want the slag give the barber's work off, but it's not correct. Just means it's going to be too heavy on one side, and Rizwan has been struggling to style it. He literally said just now, look, what is that? It's very, very important you maintain and be consistent with your process. Even if you're trying new processes out, especially when you're trying new processes out, you need to cross-check everything. And now this one, last cut, last channel, you're going to angle it slightly. So that means that it's going to be less hair this side, but when I comb it back, it's going to blend. Done. Now I'm just going to dry it. I will speed up the drying, and I won't have any volume because that mic is super sensitive and it will deafen you. So I'm going to dry it, and then I'm going to come back to the shape up. I need the nozzle. There's no nozzles here. Drying. Before I start blow drying, I'm just going to put a bit of matte clay through his hair just to give it that little bit of extra styling power, and it's going to help me manipulate the hair, and I might not have to add any extra product to the hair afterwards. So I'll rub it into his wet, like I said, into his wet hair, making sure it's right in there. Because it's a matte, because it's going into wet hair, even though it's a matte styling product, it might leave a bit of a shine. It depends what the ingredients is in the product. Okay, so this is why it's very, very important for you to know and understand the products that you're using as well. Now moving on to the dryer. So I'm going to start by making sure this section is nice and clean. So I'm going to dry this over first. This section here. I've got a round brush. I normally use a vent brush, but I'm not going to lie to you, I have literally forgotten it in my house. So, and this is the only vent brush, this is the only brush that we had here in the store. So a thin round brush, full heat, full speed. Now that is styled, like I haven't got a mirror so I can't really see. This one's got very thick, very coarse, very difficult here to style because of the wave. But nonetheless, that is the style, that is the fade. What's the difference when I run back through this little patch here and I shape it up? What's the difference that makes? So I'm going to use my thinning scissors, or texturizing scissors, whatever you want to call them, they all do the same thing. And I'm going to remove some of the dark patch from there, okay? That's it. The other side's perfect, I checked just now. Not being too rough, not going too deep, just surface scratching with them. Why are we surface scratching? Because if we go too deep, we're going to cause lines again. And then we're going to cause light patches, which means you're going to have to take the fade from underneath higher. And that's just creating a lot more work. Now I'm going to just fade in the beard quickly. Rizwan doesn't let me touch his beard because he is the beard king. I'm not lying, he is actually the best person I've ever met to do a beard. So I am just going to flick this out, 0.5 open, or bare braid open. Little bit, just to get rid of this top bit right here. A detailer or a trimmer. So if your client isn't actually paying for a beard or doesn't want his beard done, this is what you need to do on everyone. Spin around for me. Same one. Same. We'll actually use the thinners this side, just a surface scratch again, as I did the other side. I do that load through a haircut. So yeah, just removing these little Photoshop, well, doing Photoshop I should say, adding more light into everything. Right. That's done, on to the shape up. Okay, right, nearly done this one, nearly done both. Yep. Right, okay, so with the shape up, you're going to make sure this is the most important thing. You're going to make sure you do not push the hairline back. Okay, so when I come up, I can see where Rizwan's had his last shape up because he's got all of this pokey out here. Okay, right way around. So, but what you do, you start in the middle and you work to one side, and then you come back to the middle and you work to the other side. With resting your finger, anyway, you need to rest your finger to give you balance, and to give you a little bit more stability. you're wondering what tools I'm using, guys, I've just used the Shorty, the Gamma Plus Shorty, and I've just used, this is the boost. And now, done that side, bush. Actually, I'm going to put a bit more product in to pull that back. I'm going to do this side, you're going to start from the middle again and come right around. That's done. Now, when it comes to shaping up this part, the actual shape up, the C cup into the side, into the top, how I do it is I start here, put my, okay, sorry guys. So how I do it is I put my guide in here, like so. I know that's where the top of the C cup is. And I literally just go around, with little motions, nice connect. In. Like so. I'm taking it back, just put a natural C in. And now you have a guide from the top to the bottom. And I literally angle it in perfectly, go in a little bit, in a little bit more, bit by bit. It's better to look at your work and say, oh, that needs removing, than you saying, oh shit, I've removed too much. And there you have it. That's that side. Completely finished. Bosh. You're really picky now. Now onto the other side. Same process with the C cup. I'll start here, put my guide in. I'm just going to go I'm just going to go same motion. Like so. Same again, top to bottom. Ooh, that's a cool style, bro. And there you have your silhouette as well. Put a bit of product on, just to finish it off. Get all those loose hairs from where you've been doing the shape up, etc, etc. And there you have it, guys. That is my fade tutorial, my fade process. Even though we hit some snags right at the start where I couldn't put my baseline in, the fade process does not change. There you have the finished image. And all in all, this would genuinely take me 30 minutes in the salon. Perfect. So there you have it, guys. The perfect fade tutorial on a mid fade. Even though we hit a rocky start, whereas I couldn't put my baseline in, so I had to change the way I actually do a full haircut. It turned out perfectly. Why? Because the process I use is bulletproof. It's that simple. It doesn't matter what happens or who sits in your chair, that process is going to work, whether it's a low, mid or high fade. Thank you very much for watching. There are other tutorials on the page if you want to go back and have a look. I've got more fade tutorials, I've got taper tutorials, and I also have medium length tutorials coming soon. Okay? Peace, love, bye guys.